Hey guys, this is Brian Davis here, and today we are going to talk about how to outsource your business to save money, to bring down the overhead, and how to use outsourced employees, virtual employees, to get more done and to make your dollar go a lot further than not. So we use virtual employees for a lot of the work we do. Virtual freelancers. We find these freelancers on websites like Upwork, Guru.com, Fiverr. There's I think freelancer.com. Mainly Upwork. That's usually where we focus. Have found people even on Bigger Pockets, Craigslist. There's a host of different places, but usually we focus on Upwork. And there's a huge selection of freelancers there to choose from, and it's treated us very, very well. We also have a podcast on this topic, but I just thought I would go through, make a YouTube video in case you don't want to get into the podcast, and make this a little more short form type of information, just to bring down the overhead in your business by outsourcing. So outsourcing is when you have a job that can be done on a computer, typically. This is the way that I'm going to talk about it. When we have a virtual job, it could be done on the computer, like email, data collection, data entry, phone calls, graphic design, software development. There's a million things going on the web. It doesn't need a physical person to be in the States, and these are jobs that you can outsource to other places. Anywhere in the world, they can be done on the computer. They can be done with a phone connection and an internet connection. So for us, in our business, we outsource as much as we can. And by outsourcing, what happens is you take work from your physical location and you send it to a place where the median income is drastically lower than where you're at. If you're in America, typically anywhere you go outside of America is going to typically be less expensive to outsource to. There's parts of Europe, you go to London, you go to England, you go to Spain or France, or maybe Australia. There's certain countries that are pretty comparable to the States, but when you start to go to places like Eastern Europe, Ukraine, Russia, you go to the Philippines or India, you go to Bangladesh, Indonesia, Thailand, you go to Central America, Africa, all over the place. We outsource all over the place to tons of different people. And when you go outside of America, it's very typical you can find people where their median income level and the average income in that area is 20 to 25% of what it is in the States. So minimum wage here might be $10 or $11. Over there it might be $2 or $3. And just because they live in another part of the world doesn't mean they're any less of a human than somebody that lives in America. And it doesn't mean they're any less intelligent, and you can find really incredible talent in other parts of the world. And what you pay depends on what you're outsourcing, obviously. You're not going to get a great software developer for $3 an hour, but you can find somebody to collect emails or collect phone numbers or submit information or contact people through contact forms on websites, or to help you collect data, contact people. There's certain people that can scrape data, a lot of data collection, data entry, or just simple telemarketing jobs. You could get that done relatively inexpensively. There's a ton of jobs. It eludes me at this moment on some of those cheaper positions. But then as you start to go up, you can find video production, $8 to $10 an hour, somebody that can do a relatively decent job. You can find people that do Excel spreadsheets, Excel work, modeling work, financial work. We have guys that write scripts for machine learning algorithms and AI, and those guys get more expensive. Better statisticians get more expensive. But you can find really, really smart people, 10, 15, 20 bucks an hour to do a whole host of things. Or writing articles for your blogs, writing content, doing research, general research, like I'm doing a podcast. I need people to do research, to reach out to possible guests, to find out who might be good, to contact them, to bring them in, and then to find out, a little background on them so that we have some talking points when we bring them onto the show. So these are all the types of things that we can outsource, and these are all the things that we do outsource. And since we have access to anybody in the whole world, because it's virtual, we're not stuck dealing with a 10 or 15 or 20 mile radius from where the office is. So our talent pool is greatly increased, almost infinitely, when you consider the little area that you would be looking in otherwise. And it's cheaper. So you have more talent, you have cheaper talent, and you can get this work done at any point of your day. It could be Sunday afternoon, and you can find somebody that will get emails right at that moment because they're free. And you can post a job. What happens is you go to this website called Upwork, you post a job and say, I need these phone numbers off this website, or I need some research done. Is there anybody available right now to do this? I need it done right now. And you can post a job on Upwork. You can invite people to look at that post, apply for that post, apply for that position, and then you could start talking to them almost instantaneously. This process takes 5 to 10 to 15 minutes to start getting people responding to you. Within a half hour or an hour, you could, if you look for people and invite people in, typically you'll have a huge pool of people to choose from. You have conversations with them, and you start them right away. And you could do this on holidays, on Sundays, in the middle of the night, early in the morning, afternoon. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody available. It's easy, it's cheap, it's scalable. And then some of the benefits of outsourcing to people in other countries and not having this work in your office is that you don't pay Social Security, you don't pay unemployment, you don't pay workers' comp, you don't need a computer for these people, you don't need a desk, you don't need to heat the space they're in, you don't pay for sick time or vacation time or holiday pay. You pay simply for the hours or the job that they do. It's the coolest thing you could do to scale a business, because you could take the dollars and the little bit of money or capital that you might have, and you could stretch it very far. And especially if you have some time to really, really watch those dollars. Sometimes I get so busy that money ends up getting spent in places that maybe it shouldn't be spent, just because it's hard to watch everybody so closely. And the more people you have involved, the easier it is to miss a couple of things. But if you have a very little bit of capital available, you can keep a very close eye on it, and you could get extremely far in a short period of time. You could get an incredible amount of work done, because the thing is, you're not going to get all this work done by yourself, and you can't do everything yourself. And when you start to understand all the things that other people can get done for you, the more you realize that you can't do almost at all sometimes. And it really comes down to you being the person to find and identify people that can get the work done, have a vision, have them get these things done, completed, so that you can move forward towards that vision and get the business, get the systems in place, get the business created, and have a business that starts generating revenue and creates a profit. And then you can start to transition and look to scale and look at the future and where the growth of your business might be. But if you're not doing it right now and you need work done, I would highly suggest anybody that comes across this video and is not currently outsourcing, set up an account on Upwork and post a simple job. Just something so easy that it would be impossible for it to fail. Maybe collect these phone numbers, or do this research, or write this article for me, or do my homework assignment. Post the job, even if it's a $10 or $15 or $20 job. Get it posted, have somebody complete it, do a good job of interviewing and sourcing somebody, have them do the job, and then you'll have a better understanding of how this works and how you can use it in your life, in your business, with everything, even if you're retired. And there's always something that you do that you shouldn't be doing that takes away from the quality time with your family, with your wife, with your children, with your mom, with your brother, or just time you should spend golfing. And you can have somebody to do some of the mundane work in your life so that you could free up some valuable time for yourself. And time is priceless, and you can't buy any time, but you can buy freelancers online, and you could free up some time. So it's kind of like buying time. That's all I got today. I hope this video helps somebody. I'm glad I recorded it. We also have a podcast on this where we get into a lot more detail. This is essentially just a supplement for that. This is 10 minutes. On that one, we talk to some of the guys that I've actually hired and brought on into the business, so you get a little bit of a feel of what they might sound like. And we go over everything in a little more detail there. It's outsourcing or Upwork or something like that. I think it's episode number 2, actually. It was our second podcast. I talked about it. It's hugely important. I think it's one of those things that will really help you. So go do that. Sign up for the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, I think it's in the over there, subscribe button. You're going to want that whenever we do a video, podcast. You'll be notified. Sign up for the podcast. It's called Not Another Real Estate Investing Podcast. And we're interviewing experts in different areas, and we're looking for how their expertise relates to what we are doing in real estate, and how it relates to growing systems and growing our business, putting in processes into play, all that sort of stuff. So that's all I got for you. Have a great day. This is Brian Davis signing off. Catch you on the next one. See ya.